Hello, so in this class we'll doing Algebra 1, Chapter 2.3, solving inequalities using multiplication or division. In the last class we did solving inequalities using subtraction and addition. So if A is greater than B and if we multiply with a number C, and if C is greater than 0, then the sign remains same. Like if 6 is greater than, 6 is greater than 2, and if C is 2, which is greater than 0, so if we multiply 6 times 2, 2 times 2. So 12 is still greater than 4. And same with the division. So if A is less than B, like 2 is less than 6 and C is equal to 2. So if we multiply or divide, then still 2 by 2 is less than 6 by 2. So 1 is less than 6, less than 3. So sign doesn't change. But if A is greater than B, like 6 is greater than 2, and C is less than 0, means C is suppose negative 2. So if we multiply, we change the sign. If it was greater, we put it less, as you can see here. Okay, if it was greater, it changed to less. If it was less, it changed to greater. We can see here that 6 times negative 2 is less than 2 times negative 2. Negative 12 is definitely less than negative 4. Same way here. If like 2 is less than 6 and C is less than 0, then this 2 times minus 2, we will change the sign. So this will become 6 times minus 2. So minus 4 is greater than minus 2. So basically, if we multiply or divide any inequality by a number which is greater than 0, then sign doesn't change. But if we multiply or divide by a number, any inequality, if we divide or multiply a number which is less than 0, then we change the sign. Greater than becomes less than, and less than becomes greater than. So we'll do some problems now. So these are the questions, and we'll solve using the rules we discussed just now. So this is 20 greater than equal to 4 by 5 W. So basically we'll multiply by 5 by 4 because we know A by A is equal to 1. So we just want like W on the left side, everything else on in the terms of W. So let's do. So here we multiply by 5 by 4 in both sides. So 5 by 4 is greater than 0. So the sign remains as it is. Now we'll just simplify this. So as we multiply by 5 by 4 both sides, when we simplify, this is 4. And this gives 5 times 5, 25. And this is equal to 1, 5 by 4 by 4. So 25 is greater than equal to W, or W is less than equal to 25. Let's graph this. So this is the graph for W is less than equal to 25. And because it is an equal circle, we will close this circle. Otherwise, if it is not equal to sign, we'll just keep this circle as open. Let's do now question 10. So solving this equation, we will multiply by 3 by 8 both sides like this. Okay. Now we simplify this. So this gives 3 times minus 2 is less than, this cancels 8 by 8, 3 by 3. So this gives 1 by t, 1 times t. Remember, we are not multiplying by negative number here. We are multiplying by 3 by 8, which is greater than 0. Okay, so we do not change the sign. So this gives minus 6 is less than equal to t. Or we can say t is greater than equal to negative 6. This is the graph. We see that t is greater than equal to negative 6. And since it is a equal sign, we close this circle. Okay, now let's do question 11th. So in question 11, we see that negative 6 is there and we have to remove negative 6. So we will we will divide it by negative 6 because negative 6 over negative 6 would be 1. So we want to remove this negative 6. So we are dividing by a number which is less than 0. So we will inverse the sign. So the sign will change. So we see that we have changed the sign here, and then minus 6 over 6 is 1 and 12 over minus 6 is negative 2. So t is greater than equal to negative 2. So this is a graph for t is greater than equal to negative 6, negative 2. And we see that this is an empty circle because there is no equal to sign here. So this is a question. You have $700 to buy carpet for your room. So you have $700 and these are the dimensions of your room, 14 by 14. So you have to write and solve an inequality that represents that cost per square foot. What should be the cost per square foot so you can pay for the new carpet, provided that you have total $700, so cost must be less than that, and the dimensions of the room is 14 by 14. So how much, what cost per square feet you are able to pay under the conditions where you have $700 with you and the dimensions of the room is 14 by 14. So let's see is the cost per square feet that you can pay. So cost per square feet is C and area is 14 times 14. So area is 196. So if per square feet is C, then the total cost would be C times 196, but it should be less than 700. Okay, so this is C times 196 and it should be less than 700. So we divide both sides by 196. So here 196 is greater than 0. So we do not change the sign here. So C is less than 700 over 196 is around $25 over 7. Or we can say it's around $3.57. So when you go and you buy go to a store to buy the carpet, we can and there is a cost per square foot carpet given. We have to see that it must be less than, not more than, it must be less than or equal to 3.5 per square foot. So cost must be less than $3.57 and you can spend no more than $3.57 per square foot on the carpet. Let's do another word problem. So this is a question 31. You run for 2 hours at a speed no faster than 6.3 miles per hour. So we have to write an inequality that represents the possible number of miles you run. So we know that distance is equal to speed times t. So we have to write an inequality that represents the possible number of miles you run. So we know distance is equal to speed into time, and here the maximum speed is given. So the distance would be less than or equal to the maximum speed times hour, because it is speed is no faster, means speed is less than. It means the distance covered would be uh, less than maximum speed times number of hours. So if it is a maximum speed, then it will be equal to, and if it is less, so distance will be less than the maximum speed times number of hours. So suppose d is the distance in miles you run. So in the question, it is given that speed is no faster than 6.3 miles per hour. So it is maximum 6.3 or less than that. So here the distance run would be less than maximum speed times number of hours. So if d is the distance of the miles you run, so it will be 6.3, which is the maximum distance, times number of hours is 2. So distance would be, at most you will run 12.6 miles. So you'll run 12.6 miles if the speed is 6.3, and if it is less than that, then it would be, at most you will cover 12.6 miles or less. Means you will cover 20.6 miles or less, because the maximum speed is 6.3. So this is the equation, inequality, that represents the distance covered in 2 hours. So now for the B part, they are saying the marathon is 26.2 miles. And your friend says that if you run at this speed, which is 6.3 miles per hour, then you'll not be able to complete in less than 4 hours. So let's check it. So this was maximum speed and number of hours. So previously number of hours was 2 when we are doing the A part, but now it is 4. So let's see if we multiply the speed, which is 6.3 times 4, and if it comes to 2.6 or greater than that, whether he would be able to cover the marathon or complete the marathon. So we see that 6.3 times 4 is is 25.2, and the distance for the marathon is 26.2. So friend is correct. Maximum distance covered in 4 hours at the speed of 6.3 is less than 26.2. So your friend, so you'll not be able to cover the marathon at the speed of 6.3 in 4 hours. So let's do some more problems. So let's do these problems and graph them. So in the first one, it is like -3 here. See, if we multiply by -3 both sides, and because -3 is less than 0, we will change the sign of the inequality. Greater than equal to becomes less than equal to. So we see that -3 over -3 becomes 1. Okay, that's why we multiply by -3 both sides, and 1 times -3 is -3. And as we multiplied, because -3 is less than 0, so we change the sign from greater than to equal, less than equal to. Because it was equal to sign, we see that this was the circle here was closed. We have a closed circle. Okay. Now let's do question 16. Here also it is -5. So we multiply and divide by -5. Both we multiply by -5 both sides. So in this case, we multiply by -5 both sides. We see here that it was less than equal to. So now we change it into greater than equal to. So -5 over -5 is 1. 16 times -5 is -80. So the solution here is W is greater than equal to -80. Now let's graph. So we see that here it was less than, and we change it into greater than when we multiplied by -5. Here it was greater than, and we change it to less than when we multiplied by a negative number both sides. Let's do now, and this is the graph also. Let's do question 17th now. So in this question, we have here -1 by 4. So we want to get rid of -1 by 4. Thus, we can have it when we multiply it by -4 both sides. So now we are multiplying by -4 both sides, and we have changed less than to greater than. Okay. So this gives 32, and this gives this negative and negative becomes positive, and 4 and 4 cancels. So we have m is less than 32. There is no equal to sign, sorry. Yeah. So this is m is less than 32. Okay. So here it was less than, and we changed to greater than sign. Let's graph this. And we put this as an open circle because there was no equal to sign. Now on the 18th, we want to get rid of -2 by 3, which is here. So what we'll do is we'll multiply by -3 by 2 both sides, because -3 by 2 and -2 by 3 gives 1. So let's multiply this. So since we are multiplying by a negative number, so greater than becomes less than. So -3 by 2 times -6 gives -2 by 3 times -3 by 2y. So this gives 9, because 2, 3, and -3 times -3 is 9, is less than y. So y is basically greater than 9. Let's graph. So this equation shows that y is greater than 9, and we do not fill the circle here. because there was no equal to sign. So this is a open circle. Okay, so please continue practicing. Please let me know if you have any difficulty, and we'll continue our practice in the next class. We'll do the next topic. Thanks for joining, and let me know if you need help.